international television reporter. I have here to ask you, you stated you observed many areas of IDP in the country. What are the extent of humanitarian situations you have seen there? The second question is that the drawdown of AMISOM or African Peace Forces in Somalia will have an impact, you said, on humanitarian activities in the country. What ties the drawdown activity, the drawdown to the fear that the IDPs will, the situation of IDPs will worsen? What ties it? How can you attribute the drawdown activities of armed forces going back there to their home, whereas the Somali Army, National Army Forces will take over the areas and the situation? What brought this? How can you clarify this situation?
Okay. So for your first question, as I'd mentioned, we've spoken to the people that are responsible for the refugees and the IDPs here, as well as those that are responsible for disaster management. And the concerns that they have raised are obviously in relation to the increment, the number of IDPs going up, related to, as I'd mentioned, the conflict crisis and the climate crises. Regarding their situation, it has been brought to our attention. Obviously, the higher the number of the IDPs, the less obviously the food supply, the less water supply, and shelter as well will be issues. So we will take this information back, as I mentioned previously, to the African Union Commission and seek for proposals of solutions, obviously in collaboration with our Somali brothers and sisters. But as I mentioned earlier, and I'm sure Joseph will tell you about the African Humanitarian Agency and the policies that will be put in place to address these issues. Regarding the issue about the drawdown as well, the information we received in consultation with the troop contributing countries as well as the ATMIS team on the ground in relation to the vacuum that will be caused in terms of security for those that have been based around the FOBs, as well as the reduction in the services that they have been receiving. I mentioned earlier water, medical, and food supply. All of that information has been brought to our attention, and as I mentioned, we will take this information back. We will digest and we will communicate with our Somali counterparts to come up with and support Somali initiatives to address these issues. Did you want to come on the AHA?